We come to this platform to create, running and shouting about the things we wish to say. But this platform isn't designed for that kind of longevity. Passion runs through sweat, and sweat dries fast. Producing a new inspired video each and every week is hard. We don't always have something to say, and just figuring it out doesn't always make for the best content. I think that's why it's important when you've got something to say, when you're genuinely inspired, that you speak out, scream and shout. That's why I'm here today, to talk about a topic that honestly has me. Today, I'm here to talk about Raj from The Big Bang Theory.
All started with a big bang.
Now, I know a lot of people have a lot of opinions about The Big Bang Theory, but don't worry, it's not the only show I'm talking about today. Just thought it would be a funny way to open the video, considering all those opinions I just mentioned.
I don't want some janky freshwater bitch fish, Winston.
Today I'm actually comparing the characters Rajesh Kuthrapalli from The Big Bang Theory to SCHMIDT from New Girl. Because believe it or not, these two characters are actually the same person. If you disagree with that, feel free to comment down below, but maybe hear me out first. Now, despite being the same, these two characters actually end up in completely different places, and I thought that would be interesting to talk about today. Now, before I get into more spoilerish territories, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this.
Say it, say it. Say you love him. Say it.
So, believe it or not, Raj and SCHMIDT are actually incredibly similar characters, at least storyline-wise. They both come from controlling parents, and for one reason or another, they don't get along with the opposite sex. A major element of their character is how they've dealt with and tried to get over this. They like to be a little bit extra most of the time, and are mostly okay with their feminine side. I'm gonna stop here because I don't want to get into the difference between story similarities before describing their individual shows. You see, while both of these shows sit firmly under the sitcom family tree, they're actually extremely different structure-wise. If New Girl's a lovely husky, then The Big Bang Theory's a raccoon. Same family, different creatures. And there's nothing wrong with the raccoon. He's happy, look at him go! And by that I mean they're actcoms and domcoms. The Big Bang Theory, the actcom, mostly focuses on invoking laughter, opposed to communicating ideas, revolving most episodes around a few central themes. Usually these shows don't focus on character development and are more procedural in nature. And what does that mean for Raj? Well, this is a prime reason why for 6 seasons he wasn't able to talk around girls. The show focuses on invoking laughter opposed to lesson, which means Raj can enter a situation dealing with his social anxiety and exit having learned nothing. Like most characters in an actcom, Raj's memory is roughly the length of each episode, which is why most characters can honestly just say terrible things to him with little to no consequences.
Well, let me guess, you're not eating because the mean girls circled your chubby bits in marker.
And the development he does get is usually a response to a need in the show itself. As an example, the season he's finally able to talk to girls, all the other main characters had hooked up, meaning if the show wants to continue doing dating storylines, it had to be through Raj. This is opposed to SCHMIDT in New Girl, who is in a domcom. A domcom is kind of the opposite of an actcom in that its primary focus is to convey a message to its audience, which means basically every episode SCHMIDT's in, he has to learn a lesson. SCHMIDT needs to learn to communicate with women. Well, you bet your bottom dollar at the end of that episode he's gonna learn to communicate with women. But then, and this is important, he doesn't repeat that mistake. Which brings me to my next point. Raj and SCHMIDT are pretty similar characters with pretty similar storylines, but because of the simple nature of their shows, they have to end up in completely different places. Starting with the one I've already mentioned, both Raj and SCHMIDT demonstrated early on that they both have trouble communicating with women, or a woman. Now, SCHMIDT resolves this issue in one episode during the first season, and he learns a lesson on self-value. Now, Raj, on the other hand, doesn't resolve this issue for 6 seasons, and when he does, what lesson does he actually learn? And that's the pattern. Let's move on to another similar or the same storyline, the cheating. Both of these characters actually end up cheating on their significant others. On The Big Bang Theory, being an actcom, it's treated just for laughs. You could argue to a degree it demonstrates the awkward nature of this kind of situation, and the stresses it puts on those around us.
Like your friends were just telling me about all the other girls you're dating.
Why would you do that? I specifically asked you not to do that.
But also, the only people who are really punished for this situation are the victims. Raj is never filled with sorrow. Nobody slaps or throws a pie in his face. He just moves forward because it's important that the audience see Raj as a good guy so that the audience can laugh along with him, but as a result, he never learns his lesson. Now place this against SCHMIDT. When SCHMIDT cheats on his partners, it's treated a little differently. Spends several episodes with the stress and anxiety of the situation being put on SCHMIDT, before it very destructively is put on his friends, only to have the entire thing blow up in his face. And SCHMIDT is forced to stop, look at his actions, and wonder what those actions say about him. Ultimately, SCHMIDT is forced to learn a series of lessons which allow him to be a better partner in future. This is ultimately demonstrated in the episode Pantygate, for the benefit of his partner.
I hate being here so much. These underpants make me so uncomfortable.
It's perfect.
This shows that SCHMIDT has learned his lesson and become a better partner, which is exactly why he gets to end up with Cece. Raj, on the other hand, never gets this. Raj never gets to learn his lesson. Going forward, Raj's cheating is never addressed, and even retroactively retconned out of the show.
I'm Claire, and I guess I broke up with you because you were just really needy.
As a result, Raj never learns his lesson and therefore can never move forward. But that's also why Raj can't end up with either of these women, and arguably doesn't have a real relationship for the rest of the series. And this is how these two characters have a lot of the same personality traits, quirks, and storylines, but end up in completely different places. It's cause of lessons. In the episode You're the Turtle, SCHMIDT realizes that Nick is somewhat of an inconsiderate friend. This forces both SCHMIDT and Nick to reevaluate their relationship and allows them to better understand each other. In season 11, Raj and Wolowitz get into a similar argument, and it even lasts longer than your standard episode arc. But how does it end? With physical violence. Outside of this, the issue is never resolved. But anyway, that's my video. I thought comparing these characters was a fun excuse to talk about accoms and domcoms. But more importantly, what do you think? Comment down below. I'm always happy to have a conversation about it. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps with algorithmic stuff and also gives me the warm and fuzzies. And as always, thanks for watching. It really does mean the world to me.